Hello everyone, SMA Watts here, and we are about to begin round 2 of Legacy Tribal. We won the toss playing against Dawi, or Davi, I don't know how you're supposed to say it. That is an intriguing hand. I think I keep it because it's actually pretty good on its top end. No, we will not take the 2 damage there because we can play our lands out without taking any damage. Keep Lightning Bolt up on turn 2. Yeah, I think I'm generally not worried about being a little bit slow against anything that's playing Evolving Wilds. Yeah, the Ghor-Clan Rampagers will just sort of crush anything that gets in their way. So I'm guessing the only thing I can think of is slivers. Oh no, white, so not slivers. Probably humans then, just using Evolving Wilds as a cheap fetch land. Red, green, green, Fanatic. Would you like to pay tribute to my Fanatic? Oh, he chose to pay tribute. I guess that means he's got a removal spell, probably? That's generally what that would tell me. Because generally, I think it's generally better to take the 4 and leave them with a 3/3. Because now I don't have to ever worry about pumping. I can just swing in with my 4/4. Yeah. Because once it hits you like twice, you've already behind where you would have been. Well, then again, he'd be at 13 now and not 16. Oh, it's hard to gauge. It is tough. It really depends on what you have in your hand, like how bad. A Fanatic of Xenagos. How bad a 4/4 trampler is versus how bad a well. Day of Judgment to destroy both creatures. That's fine. Wasn't really expecting that, but I did almost play a black-white humans deck that had Day of Judgment though, so I suppose I should have been. And I guess that's the logic. If you're going to wrath the board, you pay the tribute so that it doesn't hit you. That way you take 4 from it and not 7. Riders Gavany resolves as it's going to get Ghor-Clan. Centaur. So it's human creatures you control. Alright, well. That made it easier. So he's playing a very top-end humans deck. Yeah, I kind of saw the swords coming, which is why I'm glad I drew my own. Lingering Souls. Okay, well. This is very similar to the deck I almost played. Except these would have been Precinct Captains. And that would have been Hero Blade Hold. I do not fear your 1 black mana. Do you respect my untapped mana? Nope. No respect. Wild Nacatl. If you want to race, I think I'm going to win that race, but... Lingering Souls flashback. Another Related Inquisitor. Ultimately, the question is, does he have a removal spell in hand? Well, that helps out. Ghor-Clan Rampager is a very good creature. More of a pump spell, though. You can't win this race if you keep attacking. Like with everything. Like, unless you have another Lingering Souls in your hand. That would actually change the math quite a bit. Because Lingering Souls flashback, which has the mana to do. Rider's Gavany. Well, I think you figured out what my creature type is. Yeah, I don't know if that's good enough yet. Alright, so if I attack with everything, he can block the Nacatl. He can triple block the Nacatl and kill it, and I get through for 4. He can double block the Sunblade Elf and kill it, and I get through for 5. Either way, next turn the Pit-Skulk's lethal unless he draws a removal spell. Oh, I forgot I can do that. Well, I demand you draw something useful. Because you can't survive that. O-Ring is useful. Though awkward because you really have to O-Ring the Pit-Skulk and not the thing that's actually dangerous. Do I just... yeah, I think I attack with both. I mean, he gets the option to triple block my Nacatl. Now is it dealt 2 and dealt by? Oh, it doesn't deal damage either. That's annoying. And just keep attacking him. Well, now we're... happens. At least he didn't get blown out by it. Well, I mean, he got a little blown out, but he didn't also lose another creature. Alright. Let's see what we, how we do on the draw here. Well, the 5-lander is pretty much a snap mulligan. Oof, 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 oof. This is such a bad hand. Like, it really needs any other 1-drop. Because that makes him just a vanilla 1/1. Oh, I'm sorry, he can't be blocked by zeros. Ugh. It's supposed to be easier now. You're supposed to be able to be like, you just hit mulligan, you know, keep or mulligan. Ah, must have been last game. I wasn't paying attention to what his starting hand size was. Would explain why it felt like I was ahead of him on cards the whole time. Maybe that was this game. I think that was this game. His hand's really slow. Green, red, red. It is just an awkward... It's so hard to figure out which one's better for you. Because the 4-4, like, if you haste it, it'll do... Like, in 3 turns, it does 10 damage. Versus 8. So it's generally better to pay tribute if you have ways of dealing with 4-4s. Like, it is a faster clock with other things if you don't pay tribute. It is a more powerful attacker if you do pay tribute. Like, just onto it, like, at 20, onto it like a blank battlefield, the 4-4 will win the race to 20. Because that's 6 turns, whereas it takes 7, I believe, for the, because it's 4, they're at 16, then you need to attack them 6 more times, so yeah, 7. For them to, to kill them if they haste it. Though here, doesn't actually matter if he doesn't have any way to interact with me. Because he's already down to 19. And the Pit-Skulk by itself will kind of balance the math out. I imagine right now he's sort of going, man, I should have probably saved the swords for the... Did he cast swords on his turn? No, he cast it on my turn, I think. Yeah, he cast it on my turn. Did he disconnect? No, he's still there. No, he did disconnect. Okay, well... Yeah, so... Since our opponent clicked through mulliganing... I think. Let me double check. Because now I'm curious, was it game 1 that he mulliganed twice? Okay, yeah, so he meant he clicked through... This game, he clicked through mulliganing... So he didn't mulligan when he wanted to, as opposed to what I thought he meant when that he mulliganed twice. Which means it's a good chance our opponent has just an awkward, like, high casting cost hand with low mana, which is one of the disadvantages of playing a relatively aggressive deck with expensive cards in it. Like, I don't like playing an aggro deck that has 4 mana cards in it very much. Like, I really want only a couple. And the reason why is because if you draw, like, if you have 6 4 mana cards in your deck, and you draw 3 of them in your opening hand, you have to mulligan. You're just way too slow. Especially when you combine it with a bunch of lands that come into play tapped. Just throws your mana, like, his mana's kind of terrible. I mean, guild gates are a thing. I'm sure everyone will be happy when the better guild gates come out in cons. Oh, so he ripped his land. I'm not going to walk into another Wrath this time, though. Oh, I didn't even know that card existed. I think this is the point where I just let him know that he knows it's coming. Yep, and I knew the Day of Judgment was coming. Unfortunately... Yeah, unleash. I've drawn nothing but land. For the most part. That's a good way to make a game go sideways real fast. Don't like your Flash Knight. Now I'm taking the lands back because I can't, like... The only draw that would make the land relevant is if I was to draw a Sunblade Elf. And I can always play the land tap, play the Sunblade Elf, and then I'll be able to pump next turn with him. Yeah, that's kind of bad. I don't know why, for some reason, there was that brief thought of I could attack with the Gore-House Chainwalker, and that'll enable the Boros Reckoner to kill the Riders Gavany. I have no idea in my brain how I thought that even began to work. I still have lots of cards that can get me out of this situation. Like, I have lots of ways of trumping a Riders or Gavany, but I need to draw one. Swordwise Centaur, not exactly the right draw here. Now, if I draw another Gore-House Chainwalker, actually, I think I'm fine. I attack with both. I trample over the rider. Alright, so if I draw anything that enables one of my creatures to survive combat. Should have played the land in case I drew the Sunblade Elf, actually. And Mentor the Meek. Alright, so he's not worrying about drawing a Wrath anymore. He's trying to get up to where he can use his Emeria Sky runes. Because I can't beat Emeria if he Wraths. Why can't I block? Wait. Human creature... Oh! I need to draw a lightning bolt. Yeah, I desperately need a lightning bolt. So I just can't attack. Whatever. If I don't draw... If I don't draw a removal spell for the riders, I'm just sort of dead. I might even just be dead anyways. Requires 7, right? Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of land. You always hate it when you lose to one card. When you can point at a card and go, I lost because of that card. This hand's a little rough, but as long as he doesn't have a turn 1 swords, I feel pretty good about it. Obviously, it's a million times better if I draw Savannah off the top. Like, Savannah off the top would be optimal. Sorry about that, dog. Was being annoying. So I'm pretty sure the only way I win this game is to assume he just doesn't have a Wrath. And then I'll eventually draw Plains. Well, Flood to screw. I mean, I kept a weak hand. Increases my odds on the off chance my next card is in fact a Plains of any type. Day of Judgment. He's had it round turn 4 every game. Hit 4 mana, Day of Judgment.